All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the main card portion of Colorado Combat Club 29, coming to you live from the historic Stampede in the all-American town, Aurora, Colorado. I'm Jordan Kurtz here alongside the Armenian Nightmare, Art Petrosian. We are set to go underway with a couple of pro flyweight bouts, along with a main event in the light heavyweight division. We've got a matchup right now between Keynan Davis taking on Juan Rosales. This is a rematch, ladies and gentlemen. A very tightly contested first bout. Art, you want to give them a little bit of a background on how that first fight went?
Yeah, man. First time they fought, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I want to say about 3 years ago. Had a great fight back and forth. Keynan was able to edge out the decision, was able to grind him out on the ground a little bit. Juan had the slight advantage on the feet, man. So it's going to be really exciting to see how it goes now. 3 years later, both guys have obviously put a lot of work in and made growths in their game. So we'll see who's able to implement their game plan here.
Certainly, and a lot of growth and development between the two of these guys, as mentioned. Keynan, under the tutelage of his father, Vinny Lopez. He's also being quartered by Aaron Beltran as well as Lavelle Simpson. Keynan is a kid who, and Juan himself too, has fought a lot of the flyweights on the scene, but especially back in his amateur days, this kid fought about every flyweight option that was available here within the area. And I just give a lot of credit to Keynan and what he did during that portion of his career, because there were a lot of tough fights that he took on. And he was willing to go through the highs and the lows of learning and building in the process to get to this point now as a professional. And so much to the point of one of his cornermen, he actually fought. He fought Aaron Beltran way back in the day, and now everything has came full circle. There was a point in time when Keynan was in camp looking to fight, I believe it was the Saquon Hall fight, if I'm not mistaken, who is a strong wrestler in his own respect. Well, he decided, this kid Beltran, who I fought, was a really strong wrestler. Let me bring him into my camp, and let's see what he can do to help me build out that part of my game. And one thing led to another. Years later, here they are as training partners and stablemates.
And that's good to see. You see these guys clicking up and just looking to grow together and make each other better, man. That's how we get to the top. Now we got Juan Rosales getting ready to step into the cage. He's got Coach Jacob Ramos in the corner.
Juan with a very strong support system, just the same, man. Juan's a kid who's trained for years and years and years before he ever made his debut. And although Coach Jake isn't his biological father, they've got a very closely knit relationship that is along those dynamics.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll say this, man. Juan's got a chip on his shoulder because he knows.
He wants that lick back.
Yeah, he believes he's better than Keynan. He just believes that Keynan was able to edge him out. But with the pro rounds, with the 15-minute timer and the growth that he's made, and you can see physically he's different. He was a kid when he fought him last time. He believes he can put him away. So we'll see.
And chatting with some of the guys who trained with Keynan, they also speak to, though, also when we're looking at this from, when we take the tail of the tape sort of metrics, if you will, him being a 6-foot flyweight, that's a lot of complications that come into the mix. He's so long, he's so awkward with some of the entries or the entanglements that he can go into because of those dimensions.
Yeah.
I was just speaking earlier in the day with Brandon Raw Dog Royval, top UFC flyweight contenders. Man, I'm a big, long, lanky flyweight. This kid's even longer and lankier than I am.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he presents some complications and some issues. Juan is certainly hungry to go out there and get a big victory here tonight and to get that one back. But, that's why they fight the fight, Art.
Yeah, and, obviously that was in the amateurs when they fought last time. Now it's pros. There's a lot on the line here. Both guys are 3-2, so this is going to be huge.
Davis in the blue corner with the all-black trunks. Rosales with the black and red in the red corner. Couple of exchanges of leg kicks between the two of them.
And Keynan using his range very well. And that's a problem, right? It's hard to get inside that range. Juan,
especially if he can work behind his jab.
Yeah. A lot of energy. Oh, beautiful body shot by Juan.
That's how Juan's going to have to do this, though, to be able to find his way inside. He's going to have to throw combinations, right, and mix up his level changes to get below those long 1-2 strikes from Keynan.
Yeah, and we knew this, right? Like, Keynan's going to want to get this fight to the ground. I think Juan has a little bit of a speed advantage, right? And it's a problem to deal with. Keynan doing a nice job here, holding him up against the cage, slowing the fight down.
Rotation from Rosales. Rotation returned by Davis.
Oh.
Flurry of punches thrown by each guy off of the dam.
Beautiful right hand over the top. You can see Juan's getting comfortable in there.
Juan's starting to unload a little bit more now with his 1-2 from range, but a well-timed shot from Keynan Davis.
That was a beautiful level change by Keynan Davis off of Juan's pressure.
And that's where now, off of this next break, what I would like to see a little bit more from Juan in the striking exchanges is to use his feints.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this at large of how feinting is not done enough, and that's a lot more common with the amateurs. But with these guys being on the pro side of things, I would like to see him mix in some more feints to set the feet of his opponent so that he could be a little bit more effective when he decides to go. Whereas Keynan just time pressure. If you're not feinting and if you're just all go, then all you have to do is read movement.
Yeah, beautiful breakdown on that. That's exactly what happened there. And now he's able to kind of stall him out a little bit and slow the fight down, which is not what Juan wants.
Correct.
A great fighter to watch is actually fighting tonight in the main event is Izzy. He has some of the best feints in the game. He's one of the best strikers in the game.
And from some of the coaches that I work with, we talk about the concept of, we call it 2 to 8. So there's been some recent studies in sports science that have shown that's the benefit of MMA growing, is there's just a lot more statistical analysis of stuff that's out there. But in high-level pro fights, as opposed to amateur fights, the ratio is basically a mirror opposite of each other. So when I say 2 to 8, that means as a pro, there's 2 strikes for every 8 feints.
Yeah.
At some of the higher levels.
Yeah.
Whereas for some of the amateurs, well, it might be 10 to 0 with strikes.
Exactly. There might be no feints in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wonder Boy actually just put out a beautiful video on this.
Yeah. And he was talking about, like, when you're feinting too, right? It's got to be real. You got to get him to really bite on that.
And you have to do stuff off of those. It's not just throwing a feint to throw a feint. It's throwing something then behind the feint. And even if it's non-committal, you still have to throw something off of that feint to make them have to honor it.
Yes, sir. Ref calling for action here. A little bit of a stalemate. Keynan in a better position, but not really doing anything effective with it. No strikes. And we get the separation. This is exactly what Juan wants. Oh, beautiful overhand.
But a flurry of strikes in return from Keynan Davis. Keynan goes for that single leg, unsuccessful.
Yeah. He knows what Keynan wants to do, and Keynan knows what Juan wants to do, so it's just a matter of who can keep it in their realm, and Juan is all over him. Ooh. Juan is looking great.
Dude, Juan's throwing like he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, I told you, he wants to make a statement. He doesn't just want to win.
And a couple of those punches are landing in that sequence, but Art, though, from a strategic standpoint,
he hurt him. He hurt him.
Juan Rosales starting to find his flow. Keynan Davis is on the ropes.
He's hurt. I mean, a little bit of control in the round for Keynan, but damage, I mean, you got to give it to Juan. What a round.
Yeah, you've got to go that round to Juan with the way that the ending of it went, I mean.
Yeah, there's no other way to score it. I mean, damage is the #1 criteria.
Damage being the top criteria, he had him wobbled a little bit, or at least as it appeared. From the optic side of things, it was a close round. But those scoring sequences from the strikes in those final 30, 45 seconds-ish around in that range, when you're splitting hairs in terms of the action for the first 4 minutes and 15 seconds of a round, then you have some explosive action that happens in that final minute. Well, that's where you do see some guys, they make it something that where you just don't give the judge an option.
Yeah, and I mean, I felt like both guys were landing some shots, but Juan was edging him out early, and then in the end, I mean, look at the smile on Juan's face. He knows he has them, right? So now the question is, can he keep Keynan off of him long enough to land those big shots again?
Yeah, and I mean, what is the risk though too from Juan? Because Juan is throwing everything hard.
Yeah, so man, this kid's got a gas tank.
He's got a crazy gas tank, and I recognize that they're flyweights, but at the end of the day, there is still a threshold to gas tanks.
Yeah, definitely. You still want to be conservative and be smart.
Especially if you have that little bit of a mental element of you want to get this back, well, maybe you're loading up a little bit more. Maybe you're putting a little bit more on it than you would have otherwise, so you're not used to that output, even though you put in the work.
Yeah, I could see that.
But you almost create an adrenaline dump for yourself, in a sense, because you put so much into it from the mental end.
Yeah, and with Keynan being such a seasoned veteran, right, he had a lot of amateur fights, you got to be careful, right, and just approach him with caution at all times, regardless of if he's hurt or not.
Well, that's the thing with vets, period. If you don't put him away and you let him hang around, they're going to eventually start to work their game.
Yeah, and if you look at Keynan right now, look, he's picking it back up. I mean, he's got a strong start to this round. He's looking good. His jab is effective.
And we are seeing Juan start to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, and there's the takedown again. Oh, good takedown.
Elbows.
Brutal elbows, but in exchange for the takedown, right?
I'll take it right now in this spot. Start to work to the back. He's got the post arm grab.
And you could see he's looking to get those hooks in, right? Because he wants to get to that position where he was able to ride him out a little bit.
Even right here, you can camp for a little while just because you're so long and lengthy. Just use the tripod effect and make Juan have to carry your weight up against the fence.
Yeah.
Just make him carry you for a minute. And get your wits back about you. Breathe. Get a couple of big, deep box breaths in.
Yeah.
And then start to go.
And there's the right side hook. He takes the cage side away from him, which is how Juan was working to get up, right?
And I can probably imagine that a body triangle from someone who has as long a legs as Keynan Davis is hell to be able to work out of.
Yeah. Oh, Keynan was under the neck there for a second, it looked like.
He was working for it. Juan was able to scrape that shoulder just enough to where he took away the angle.
Yeah.
Sound defense with the phone for Juan Rosales, not allowing for that to creep back in.
Yeah, and he's been here a lot, and he spent a lot of time in camp here because obviously, when they fought before, Keynan was able to hold this position and kind of grind him out here. And then he's been caught here before by other people, but he's put a lot of time in. So there he's fishing for it again.
Keynan Davis right in front of his corner, too.
Yeah.
Working a single arm choke setup so far. Juan Rosales has what would be the top arm of the choke trapped, but especially when you have arms as long as Keynan, you could still finish this with one arm. He's going the behind the head finish. This is not a good position for Juan. He might not find a finish here because the jaw is slightly tucked, but this is still bad. You could see the arteries from Juan starting to contract a little bit and pulsate with some vascularity.
Oh, yeah.
You know that the arteries were being pinched.
Hey, what Keynan did right there, that was interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And that's due to him having such long arms, right? And here he comes. Juan's starting to rally. He's coming out the back door.
Juan's starting to work up out of the back. Now Keynan needs to score up.
Beautiful right hand on the break.
Micah Haas going crazy in the corner for Juan Rosales.
That's a real teammate right there, man. He enjoys the victory for his teammates just as much as he does his own victories.
Long 1-2 head kick combination from Keynan Davis.
Oh, he's hurt him. He's hurt. He landed a beautiful knee down the middle.
It looked like that knee.
There's another one.
Right through. Knee hits the forearm that time, but still stabbing and damaging.
Oh, beautiful right hand to the body. God, these guys are putting on a show for us. Oh, he drops him with the knee.
Juan Rosales is starting to pour it on.
I tell you, man, this kid has a chip on his shoulder, man.
Keynan Davis is in trouble. Armando Castro right on top of the action right now.
Pounding him.
Juan Rosales, TKO victory.
Pounded him out, man.
Juan
What a
Rosales.
What a performance. Ben, I'm telling you, this kid's record is deceptive, man. Four and 2 as a pro now. Possibly one of the most exciting flyweights on the regional scene right now. Man, hopefully Keynan Davis is okay. He took some brutal knees to the head there.
Yeah, Keynan getting himself back up to his knees now.
Man, and credit to Keynan, man. It was a dog fight, right? He did some good things in there, but like I said, man, Juan just...
Hey, this is to me, that's a very well matched pairing between those two guys. Because they both had success against each other. They both hurt each other at certain points in those striking exchanges. Keynan had Juan's attention right before that.
Yeah.
And Juan just bit down right through it and swung through and was able to find his way to pay dirt. And good to see Keynan Davis back on his feet under his own power.
Obviously, in your fights, man, they can go either way. When you're at this level, one mistake can cost you the fight. And Keynan, keep his head up. He'll be back. He's a good competitor.
He's a good competitor. He's got a great corner around him. I mean, his pops is a royalty member of Colorado Combat Sports now at this stage. But today, that glory goes to Juan Rosales. Gonna hear from our winner here, Juan Rosales.
Look at those abs on that boy.
You ever gonna get back to that, Art?
Hell no. I'm living the good life.
That retired life, right?
Yeah, man. I don't want to get in here and I don't want to work that hard anymore, so totally understand.
We'll hear from our winner here, and Juan Rosales.